Here's what's hot right now at podcast1.com. Nick Cannon's Incredible Conversations. It's a street-smart cornucopia of hip-hop, humor, fashion, life advice, you name it. Nick's got it. Nick Cannon's Incredible Conversations. Ever wonder what Mike and Dr. Drew say during the commercial breaks at Loveline? Well, now you can hear it. It's the Mike and Dr. Drew podcast. All the things they can't say on the air because the FCC won't let them. The Mike and Dr. Drew podcast. Check it out for yourself. Go to podcast1.com. That's podcastone.com.
Saturday morning animation is dancing ponies and singing sponges. Saturday night is their freaky, f***ed-up cousin.
Buckle up, boys.
What is this place?
Animation Domination High Def. A late-night block of brand new shows. X-Cop.
I'll chop your head off!
And High School USA.
Hey, gang, where's Brent? Brent's dead.
Your weekend just got a whole lot weirder.
ADHD.
Saturdays late night starting July 27th on Fox.
Podcast1.com presents the Ask Women podcast. A place where two female comics and a professional wing girl get together to dissect the female mind.
You don't know how I feel.
And explain it to men in terms they can actually understand. Boobs. Now, here's the lovely ladies of Ask Women.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ask Women podcast, where you get real advice straight from the source, women. I am your host, Kristen Carney, along with, of course, Marni Kinrys, best-selling author and relationship expert.
Hi.
Hello. And Haley White, comedic actress and writer.
Holler.
And later on in the show today, we have a very special guest coming in. She's a fabulous woman. Her name's Bobbie Dooley.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you have never heard of her, listen to her podcast on the Sideshow Network called with Bobbie Dooley.
How do you spell that?
Let's see. I think it's 3 M's. No, 4 M's, 1 H, 3 more M's.
Okay, got it.
So check that out on the Sideshow Network.
It's really funny.
Yeah. And Google her. You know, she's a very unique character. So if you're finding yourself confused at all during our interview with her, just resort back to Google and you'll all
And it will all make sense.
Yes.
It's going to be a treat for us.
Yeah.
I love that.
But Haley wasn't with us last episode because of your voice from the weekend.
I always, you guys will start to recognize this voice. It happens when I have too good of a time. It's kind of common. But I
went to end up sounding like a transvestite.
Yeah, I become a man.
She sounds really feminine. She's being super boring. So,
but Marni gets horny from my voice.
I do.
Like
I'm totally turned on by the voice.
Yeah,
Go away every weekend.
It's a porn voice.
Whatever gets you hard, Marni. I went to this festival called Lightning in a Bottle, and it's kind of, from the outside, I'll be honest, it looks like a really hippy-dippy festival. But when you're there, you're kind of doing a lot of meditation and yoga.
So it is a hippy-dippy
So it is, yeah, exactly.
It totally
Which
is.
I'm into.
You guys, I've totally become a hippie. But something happened inside of me this weekend. It was very spiritual, and then in between dancing really hard with glow sticks and to electronic music, I also had some spiritual awakening within me. But it was interesting because I didn't go with my fiance. I went with a group of friends, and it was kind of funny coming back. People were like, was it weird not being with him? And I'm like, no, because you're able to have so much more to talk about when you go away from your lover or whatever and do your own thing.
You can actually touch other glow sticks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to touch tons of glow sticks, Kristen. No, but it was really interesting. I think it's important to a relationship to be able to come back together. You don't always have to be together,
I agree. I mean, I agree. I absolutely 100% agree. Because if you don't have your own experiences to bring back to the other person, there's nothing to learn from them,
Yeah.
So you do agree, but do you do it?
I mean, I would if I had friends to go do it with. So my boyfriend and I are mostly just stuck together all the time because we have no social life. So no, we don't have any new experiences.
But
currently.
that's interesting because I want to go a little
Maybe
bit deeper into
Kristen.
that. But because I will say that's something that I've been working on as well within my own relationship, and I go through cycles. And I'm lucky because my husband goes away for 2 months at a time, so I can exactly. So I get to go and be single, and I push myself because I don't want to be home alone all the time. So I get to reconnect with people. And when he comes home, I'm like, I'm gonna be the same person. I'm gonna go out and have fun. I'm gonna do this. And he comes home, and I'm on the couch with him, and we have nights together. And I fall back into that routine. I get mad at myself, and then he leaves again, and I get this singlehood, which is wonderful. But I think it's wonderful that you say you agree with that because I agree with it too. But I may not be the best at actually doing it.
Well, it's harder. It's harder to actually kind of go out and do your own thing sometimes. But I think it starts in like finding things that you're genuinely interested in, and then finding other people that are also into that.
Just find what you're genuinely interested in and what they're genuinely not interested in, so
Like,
that they won't
that's
even
what I'll
want
do.
to come with you. But you know what I'm saying? If you do have something that you know they're going to say, no, like I really don't want to go see that Broadway show, you can open yourself up to creating circles of friends that would like that
Grab
kind
your
of
gaze
stuff.
and get to it.
Totally.
I'm going to make an observation, and maybe it's just women, or maybe it's just my relationships with women, but men need their alone time. They need to get away for a weekend to really appreciate what they have at home, and they need guy time with the boys.
Yeah.
I feel guys have more friends than women have friends.
I think that's not true.
Women, well, no, you're an
I think it's
anomaly
true.
for sure. Women are catty. They have less friends from high school. They have a small group.
Bullshit, Mo.
They end up killing off most of their friends anyway. Guys are easy going.
No.
We have like 10 guys we could party with. Women only have 1 or 2 girls. So if their girls aren't around to hang out, then you're stuck having to hang out
No
with your
way,
girl. Otherwise,
man.
you leave her by herself.
That's a blanket statement. For any girls who are listening right now, I need you to write in and support me
I
on
love
this one.
blanket statements. Wrap that shit around me.
Yo, dude.
I agree. Well, I agree with Mo because Haley's a very outgoing, fun
She is.
person.
She's rare.
Right. So
I don't know, though. I have a lot of girls, too, who are the same way. And we kind of roll
How
with
many
like different...
girlfriends do you have? How many guy friends do you have?
I have more guy friends, probably.
Of course you do.
But
'cause
they're gay. Does that
you're-
count?
No, but you're a guy.
Yes.
You're like a guy
Am I a
version
man?
of a girl. But you're not boxed like one. You look like a hot chick, which is
take it.
great. So you're
It's like
your
you're the
husband's
best
lucky.
package.
Your fiance's lucky.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, though, it depends on kind of what you're comfortable with. I mean, some of my friends are just more, they do prefer to be alone with their man or whatever, and just but I actually prefer to probably go out. I get my energy by being out and apparently glow sticking all night. I don't know.
Well, also the same thing. I'm an extrovert, so I get recharged by being around other individuals. And there was a point in my relationship where I didn't go out with other individuals because I wanted to be with my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, and then he didn't want to go out as much because he's an introvert, so he needed to recharge at the end of the week. And then what would happen was I would end up staying home with him, and he would give me nothing because he just needed to recharge, and I would be bitter and angry and pissed off at him and totally turned off, which would spiral into lots of arguments between us, when realistically I should have just gotten the fuck out of the house and gone out with my girlfriends at that point so that I can start building relationships, which I think, okay, I'm touching on a whole bunch of different things here, but I think that people get into patterns when they're in relationships, honestly, out of laziness, because it's easier. I like being in my sweatpants, and like if I have to put my clothes on and go out here, blah, even though it ends up being awesome when I get to the destination that I'm going to, it's a process.
I hear that. I mean, everything's better in expandable waistbands.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, like I have so much fun whenever I do go out. Whenever I go over to my girlfriend's house, I have a blast. So I myself like have been working really hard for the past couple of years to at least go out once a week with a friend or go out for a girls' night once a month. And like I'm the one who's spearheading it with a lot of my female friends. And to touch on the point that you guys were talking about before, I find it really difficult to get girls to rally to want to go out. Even if it's just like going for wine somewhere or hanging out at somebody's house. It's really difficult to get women to want to do that. Guys are right on board with it, but girls are so freaking challenging.
Girls, I think at the age of like where we're at in our lives, like late 20s, early 30s.
20s.
Women,
I'm 22. What are you talking about?
But we're getting to the point where women need that like 2 week in advance notice to hang out.
Screw that, man. It's like I want to be able to call a friend. I've been trying to do this lately too, like a random time, like let's go for a bike ride, and it never works out because it's so much harder to plan in advance because shit comes up. You know.
Well, women flake. Dudes, I don't think
Thank you.
flake.
I totally agree with that. And that's been a huge source of contention for me lately with some of my female friends.
But I think that's something that guys can understand too, that they maybe shouldn't take that so personally when a girl does cancel
what
plans.
does it mean? What does it mean when a girl flakes on you? Or when you flake on a girl?
I do blame myself. I'm like, well, I'm not that interesting anyways. And I wouldn't make a good Instagram photo for them. You know what I mean?
So flip it around. What does it mean when you flake on a girl?
It means I was feeling bloated. And
Really?
I ate too much cereal the night before.
Really?
See, I take it
honestly,
personally.
like it's just the way I'm feeling physically, emotionally. It's not because I have other better things to do. It's because I'm not in the right mindset.
But you also don't have a strong desire to do that with that person,
Bingo.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. So
I'm getting the desire. I'll tell you that.
You're what?
I'm getting the desire.
You're getting
Lately,
the desire?
I just felt like I have no girlfriends. I have nothing to do really, socially. Like I just want to be Sex in the City right now, and I have no one to be Sex in the City
so do
with.
I'm starting to have that, so it's kind of nice. But it takes a lot of work, which is actually...
It doesn't take a lot of work, though. It takes you actually committing and then them following up with it.
Well, that's
Which is work.
Committing, making an effort is work for a lot of people. If it's not natural, if it doesn't happen in front of their face, especially now with everything being so instant for us, we have instant gratification. We want to connect with our friends. We text them. They text us back. We go on Facebook. We look at their whole lives and pictures. You have all of that instant gratification, which ultimately ends up leaving you dissatisfied. Like you were saying on your wherever you went this weekend, the Hippie Dippy Festival.
Lightning in a bottle.
Lightning in a bottle.
Google it.
But you were saying that you did this meditation where you literally just relaxed and lay down and did a guided meditation. And at the end of the meditation, they tested people's blood because when you actually take a moment to calm down...
AIDS.
And they all got AIDS from it. That is not funny.
Going to hell, Kristen. No, but they found that the level of oxytocin, I hope I'm not saying this wrong, in your body is higher, which is the chemical associated with your happiness. And they found that when you're actually together with people, and you're going through something, a shared experience, whether it be meditation or anything, dancing, the levels of oxytocin are higher. So they actually had 20 volunteers after the meditation go up and donate their blood. And I haven't heard the results back yet. But I thought it was really interesting to see.
So that's about being in a group with people, or it's about lying down and just relaxing?
I think it was about being together with a group of people in a shared experience.
Sounds like nap time in kindergarten.
Which is the
sounds
best.
awesome.
Which was the best.
It sounds awesome.
Well, look, I don't need to see the blood test to know that you had a great time, because you obviously had a great time. And bringing it back to it all, for all our female listeners or our male listeners that have a significant other that's been trying to get away from you, not personally, but trying to go on a trip with their friends, and you've been giving them a hard time about it, look at Haley over here. She's obviously come back. She's had a great time, and she loves her man even more. So
I'm enlightened, y'all.
But when you do come back home and you talk to your significant other, how does he respond about this?
Well, he's really chill, which is why it works. But he didn't want to camp in 95 degrees, and I respect that, and that's why we work, because he also likes hotels, and he's willing to pay for it. But I didn't mind, and so for me, it was exciting to come back with all these stories and all these things I learned, and to be able to share that and convince him to come with me next year. So
right. And is he excited for you that you had this experience?
Yeah, no, there wasn't any contention. Yeah,
because it is. I was saying to Haley before we got on the air to talk about this, but if my husband did have that experience and he came back and said that was the best weekend of my life, that would break my heart a little bit. I'm not saying that it's the right response, but that is actually how I would feel. I would feel a tad bit jealous of that experience. I know that my husband, on the flip side, would actually be really super happy for me. If I came home and said I had the best experience and I shared it with him, he'd be really excited for me. So maybe I'm just a jealous bitch. I don't know.
I kind of agree, as weird as that is. If he came back and said that was the best weekend of my life, I'd be like, okay, well, I wasn't there, so obviously it wasn't.
Right, exactly.
So I get that.
I could see the other person being upset if you and your significant other don't have great weekends together or don't have great experiences together. When you do come back from a trip and you say this is the greatest experience I've ever had, I could see that being very upsetting. But if you have great experiences with your partner already, then they should be happy for you.
But we do have great experiences. Now I'm getting to my therapy session. We do have great experiences. No matter what, I feel it in my stomach. I can feel it in my stomach right now that I would be jealous. So I know that in the moment I would actually
I can see it on your face.
I know, it's crazy. And I want my husband to have the best experiences ever. But I really want to experience life with him. I want to have fun with him. Yeah. And maybe we're not having we have a really nice life, actually. We do fun things together. But maybe hearing that statement, this is the best weekend of my life, would hurt my feelings.
Well, how about we get into it in the man's playbook?
Oh, for sure. Okay.
Yay.
I love that, because today, for the chapter in the man's playbook, we are going to talk about working in and on your relationship and what it means.
On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing.
All right, and welcome to this chapter in the man's playbook. Like Marni said, today we're talking about how to work in your relationship, what it means to be in a relationship and actually accept that you have problems going on and what you can do to improve them.
Mm-hmm. So what do you guys think? Like, what does working on your relationship actually mean?
You wake up 9 to 5 and you just, but it's a long, horrible day. No, I don't know. That's not what I'd like to answer. I mean, you guys can answer and I'll elaborate.
Do you work on your relationship?
No, I'm horrible. I'm horrible.
I've been in a relationship. I've been on and off with my girl for 10 years. And the only reason why we keep it the way we keep it is work. And it does take work. And the problem with relationships is people, after they're in a relationship for a year, or 2 years, depending. You get into these boring routines.
Auto drive.
You get auto drive. You get lazy. You get a wandering eye. You don't keep it fresh. You
stop appreciating.
If your sex life, if you could map out your sex life on paper every single time and go, we're going to start here, we're going to go here, then we're going to go there, and then she's going to finish here, and boom, that's it. I'm going to go to sleep. If you could do that, that's a problem. And part of putting in the work is switching shit up.
Could you use Google Maps for it? I think it would be really
I'm sure there's an app for it for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's the excitement of the unknown. The excitement of not knowing what's gonna. He might pull me under a stage at the Magic Castle and make love real quick. It's the unknown. That's what excites us.
For sure.
And people like that, and you got to learn how to switch it up.
For sure. So, what are some tools that guys can actually? I'm gonna take a step back for a second because I want to talk about where the idea for this chapter came from. Because I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends the other day who is debating possibly breaking up with her boyfriend, and she gave the background of every other guy I've been with was kind of shitty, not the right relationship for me. He was kind of boring, kind of abusive, whatever. She would cheat on them, and then break out of that relationship and end up being with that next guy. So now she's in this not new relationship, it's about a year old right now, and it's with this guy who she literally labels as perfect. She said, we talk to each other, we communicate, we have great sex, we do X, Y, and Z. If I have a problem, I talk to him about it, and he talks to me about it. It's wonderful. So there's no complaints in that section, but the section that she's complaining about is the fact that she's lost herself in this relationship, meaning she doesn't go, like what we were talking about at the beginning of the show, she doesn't go out with her girlfriends. In fact, she doesn't really have a lot of girlfriends. He doesn't go out with his guy friends. In fact, he doesn't have a lot of guy friends. And they do rely on each other. And what's happening is she's starting to blame him for it. And so she had said to me yesterday, I've never had to work on myself within a relationship. I've either worked on a relationship or I've worked on myself. And she doesn't know how to do both. And until we talked yesterday, she was like, I'm out of the relationship. And she announced that to him, and he had said, it sounds like you're already out of it anyway, so let's talk about how to break up. And when we talked yesterday, I said to her, either you can continue this pattern, you can go into the next relationship and do the exact same thing where you sort of slowly stop appreciating each other, sex starts to dwindle, and then you get resentful, and then you look for a new relationship because you think that's the solution, which is totally fine. If you want to start fresh with somebody else, you can totally do that. Or you can work on your relationship. Meaning, so for example, for her, if her boyfriend says to her, what do you need? You got to know what it is you actually need. So take some time from either the man or the woman to write down the things you really need from your relationship. And if one of the things that she needs is a night out with her girlfriends where she doesn't feel bad because he's left alone, she can say to him, I need you to go out every Thursday night with your guy friends so that it motivates me to go out with my girlfriends. Not that that's fair, not that she should need that, but that's how you can help in a relationship so that both of you have that plan together and you go do it and then you come home and you love seeing each other afterwards.
I think it's important because you can start resenting someone if you start thinking, well, I don't have any time for my girls anymore. It's like that resentment starts to build and starts to become this mound of anxiety and hatred almost inside of you feeling. But the problem is they don't even know. He has no idea. And maybe that's your own thing. So it's your it's your prerogative to make sure that you are able to call out what you need. And also, is it worth working on? That's the first question. I mean, it sounds like she's kind of bored with, is she bored with herself or is she bored with him?
Right off the bat, she needs to take responsibility for herself.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's like, stop, and relationships do this all the time. We put our problems on our partner and make it their fault.
Yeah.
When normally they don't have a fucking idea of what's going on in the relationship whatsoever. So, man up or woman up, take responsibility for your own action. If you want to get out of the house, then don't be lazy. It's just so easy to blame it on your partner.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can get into situations where maybe, say, one of the person in the relationship is uncomfortable with their body physically, and then that means they don't want to go to the beach, or they don't, it limits them in what they're willing to do, and so then it limits the other person. Mm-hmm. So in situations like that, you have to work on yourself first. That's a perfect example of working on yourself first, but there's a way to do that together also.
Yeah.
And you have those couple things where we get a gym membership together and stuff like that. But when one person wants it more than the other person, it doesn't become as helpful as it could be.
Right.
So I think if you align your goals and know this isn't working, and we can right now, so we don't overwhelm ourselves and put too much on our plate and then never accomplish anything and we just eat everything on our plate. Why don't we just pick one or two things right now that we think are really not going well and that are really hurting the relationship, and both be on board 100% with fixing those problems. And then as you go, the pyramid starts to build, and you're solving other things along the way.
I love how you make the face at me. Like, does that sound
Whenever
right?
I give advice, I make this cringe face
No,
afterwards.
but you always
That's
think that you don't
good.
give great advice. That was actually amazing advice. You should be a wing girl. I think that was actually very, very good advice. Like, as unsexy as it is, put things in your calendar.
It'll be so good that I'm going to be like a wing for an airplane.
I know.
That's how strong my wing is.
But like, when you do get into a relationship and you do get on auto drive, you're not like motivating your relationship with that excitement button anymore, because you're not like, oh, I want to do this, and like the other person's so open to doing it because they want to impress you or they want to be with you, whatever it is. You're getting into that automatic space. So as I was saying, as unsexy as it is, start using your calendar, and that's where a lot of the work comes from. So for me, when I was going through something similar to what this girl was going through, where I wasn't really happy with myself, and instead of focusing on myself, I was focusing on my boyfriend and now husband, and that was a really hard situation for us to go through, because he was always soothing me, but you have to learn how to self-soothe yourself. So at a certain point, I went for a walk with a girlfriend, and she said, like, you have to take care of yourself. And I said, you're absolutely right. I went home to him and said, you know what? I've been putting it on you for too long. I have to go take care of myself. And he said, I support that. I will be here. Let me know what you need. And at that time, I didn't know what I need, so I went to go to a coach, and they helped me learn what I need. They helped me learn my values, what I wanted, how I was putting all of it onto my significant other, and how unhealthy it was for me. I was having panic attacks at the time, which I'd never had before, which freaked me out. And so that working on myself within the relationship really assisted our relationship, and I learned better on how to communicate things that I need. And one thing that I did, to go back to the calendar, is I started putting things in my calendar so that we have once a night. I call it a Valaris night. It's a combination of our last names. Did I say once a night? Once a month we have that night where
Every night.
Yeah, where it's like I plan something or he plans something exciting and different for us to do that either shows him a little bit of my world or vice versa. He shows me his world.
A
and he comes
Valaris
along.
world, it sounds like that's when you would make a baby.
Yeah.
So they come together. And
So we come together. But things like that. And then I have, in my calendar every Monday, it says check in with my husband. Like, I have those reminders because sometimes we don't remember to do those things. And then even things that are for myself, like I would do this thing that I have in one of my programs called The Insider. It's called the Brain Dump, which we've talked about before, where you wake up in the morning and you literally just like dump everything out of your brain onto written paper. Then you close the book. Next morning, go back, you read it, you see if you still believe it or if you have more to dump out, and you write even more. It's getting all those floating ideas out of your head.
That's actually a meditation thing that I've started doing.
Oh,
it's
great.
called morning pages, and you just start journaling when you wake up about how you feel, and it's like a good way of...
Mine would just be like, no, I hate alarm clocks. I hate life. Bed.
No, but it really does help you kind of check in with yourself, because you don't really even know where you're at sometimes. When we get up, we start going, we're so busy, you don't even know how you feel until you kind of are able to write it down and be like, oh, I am going through that.
That's what's going on.
So that's a big thing, yeah.
Exactly, and it stops thoughts in your head from like becoming massive, because they're floating ideas at that point, so they can suddenly start taking on lives of their own.
And it was manifesting itself into panic attacks, obviously.
Absolutely, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? I thought I was having another stroke. It freaked me out.
I'm also a big advocate of the 2-month getaway or the 3-month getaway. I think couples don't get away enough just for 2 days. It's like every 60 or 90 days, you just get away for a weekend. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be somewhere that's just an hour away from where you live, but somewhere where you could get away from the distractions of your normal life and just reconnect as two human beings who fell in love originally because they enjoyed being around each other.
Well, I've noticed that my boyfriend and I do way better together when we're traveling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's almost like because the worries of the world don't really exist at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing something different. You're in a different environment. You're now a team because you're out in the world together, you know, going to a different state. And so you're what each other have. But when you're in your everyday life, it's almost sometimes becomes you against him rather than us against them.
Yeah.
And
Which
so
is what
when,
a relationship should be.
when you do go away together, you rekindle that, you know?
And how good is hotel sex?
By the way, that's my thing, Mo.
Best.
Hotel sex.
Yeah, it's great for everyone in the room having the sex, except for everyone else around the room.
But you don't care because you're in a hotel.
Okay, I will say this really quickly. My boyfriend and I did take a quick getaway recently, and we went to Big Bear Mountain.
Oh, nice.
And we were in a nice little hotel there. It was very cabin-like. The people above us, I'm telling you, had
probably
sex
me.
like 50 times. They woke me up in the middle of there was such an old hotel that the creaking and squeaking.
That's
I literally
awesome.
at one point was banging on the ceiling because it went on from like 10 o'clock at night until like 3 or 4 in the morning. I woke up at like 3 awake from this. So anyway, it is annoying sometimes.
How did you and your boyfriend bang on the ceiling? Did you guys have like Spider-Man gloves?
There's no gravity in Big Bear. It's so high up.
Gotcha.
I do have a sidebar. I just have to say this. By the way, for getting away for a weekend, I just discovered this app called Hotel Tonight.
Oh, I've heard of it.
It's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Every day at 12 o'clock, the hotel rooms that weren't sold go on this app for crazy discounts.
Oh, that's
so
smart.
I've been traveling the past 6 weekends in a row. And for 3 of the weekends, we ended up using this just for like last minute hotels. And if you want to take your lover away for a quick weekend, Hotel Tonight, y'all. Get into
Sponsor.
it.
I know, seriously.
No, seriously, that wasn't even a
sponsor.
sponsor, but it's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, let's bring it back to the chapter in the man's playbook. So what have we learned from this? And what can guys and girls, like everybody, take away from this chapter? The importance of doing work and maybe what work actually entails?
And I think something that I'm taking away personally is not blaming someone else. I think that's a big part of it. Because when there is no work, all of a sudden you're just blaming someone else for not being good. And
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's really interesting. So one thing that I say to a lot of my clients who are, trying to decide whether or not they want to break up or reignite the flame is that you do have to know that your significant other is not out there to get you. That they're not purposely trying to hurt you. They're trying to do the best that they can in a relationship. Either they're protecting themselves, trying to make themselves more comfortable, trying to help you in some way. Nobody's coming after you. And if they are, then you got to get out of that relationship if that's what's really going on.
I used to feel like that a lot. I'd be like, sorry if you feel like that. And he's like, I don't judge you. Like, get that out of your head. I used to always be like really defensive about my shortcomings. And that was me putting my insecurities on him, Yeah.
So being aware of that,
being aware,
that's great
like you're
to
saying,
know.
the morning, like writing down in the morning how you feel, and then scheduling in the calendar, like you were saying, Marni.
Yeah.
And
like even things like one thing that I put into my calendar is like appreciate my husband once a day. And I know it's horrible that you have to put it in your calendar, but that's how you create a habit. Like I don't have to look at my calendar to see that anymore. I just now appreciate it.
Yeah, just give him a blowjob coupon.
Except
here's
those
a
are
free-
hard to
I think he
commit to.
appreciate more like a Starbucks coupon, but I can start doing that for sure. He doesn't need coupons; he gets them for free.
It is interesting though because people that do, I've always listened to like self-help or not. I haven't always listened to self-help things. But
Self-improvement now.
So, I know. Technically, it's like changing from handicap to whatever it is they call it now. Anyway, when I hear people actually doing the program actions or the steps in the program, I'm like, oh wow, people actually do steps in a program. Like I would listen to something and then be like, yeah, okay. And then I would never implement anything. And so I had a discussion with Marni where I was nervous to speak with someone on the phone, and she told me to envision myself as an animal that I thought was the strongest animal. I have now implemented that. So when
Really?
I'm nervous, I close my eyes and I picture that I am a strong lion.
I love it because even when we did the exercise,
Did
you
it?
started talking more confidently.
Yeah,
it's
and
just
I got
breaking everything down.
But what is the hard part, I think, is to make it the habit. And it worked for me that one day, and I decided to make that a habit.
I love it.
Yeah, so you have to consciously really put effort into making a change like that. But once you do it, it is there in your life, and you can use it more consistently.
When you visualize yourself as a strong lion, do you then taste your cat afterwards?
Get out, Mo. Get out.
Ching.
That's what I call it down there, my lion. No pussies here.
I love it. Okay, well, that wraps up this chapter in the man's playbook. So, guys and girls, really focus on breaking down into steps so that you can start working on yourself within your relationship.
And when we come back from the break, we're going to be talking to Bobby Dooley, who I believe she's been married for over 20 years. So we can talk to her about her secrets for keeping it hot in the marriage.
Oh, I love it.
Just when you thought animation couldn't get any weirder, leave it to Fox. On Saturday night, July 27th, Fox introduces ADHD, Animation Domination High Def, a brand spanking new block of late-night animation. First, out of the darkness, one hero will swing into action to save our world from the forces of evil. From the creators of Parks and Recreation and the mind of a 5-year-old, it's the new animated series, Axe Cop, starring Nick Offerman. Then, school is starting early, and you've never seen a class like this. It's the new animated series, High School USA, and it's all part of the ADHD Animation Domination High Def. The revolution premieres in late night with the all-new animated series, Axe Cop and High School USA. Your weekends just got a lot weirder, starting Saturday, July 27th on Fox Late Night.
Attention former students. Nationwide Student Aid can now help consolidate your federal student loans into one lower monthly payment and potentially save you thousands. In many cases, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. Nationwide Student Aid can help stop the harassing phone calls, stop the wage garnishments, and even stop the tax liens. Stop worrying. We can help. Call Nationwide Student Aid today for a free consultation at 866-598-6593. That's 866-598-6593. Or visit us online at nationwidestudentaid.com.
You're listening to the Ask Women podcast, a Podcast One presentation.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Ask Women podcast, where you get real advice straight from the source, women, and Bobbie Dooley, of course, who's here in studio with us.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. I don't want to cut you off, but let's talk about Amazon for 1 second.
Yeah, so Amazon. So everybody, so you guys have heard about this. So Amazon, obviously a wonderful place to buy things, everything, not just books, not just audiobooks or magazines. As I've said a million times, I buy toilet paper, you can buy toothbrushes, you can buy a dog. You really can't buy anything. Maybe you can. That's coming up soon, I'm sure.
A mail order.
I'm sure. I guarantee.
A Serbian.
But they had got to have them there, right?
Yeah, they bet you they do.
They have everything on Amazon.
You probably can't adopt any Romanian children.
I think that's happening next month.
You want to do that?
Yeah, I don't want to include that bad material.
Never say never these days.
Can't they cut that out, though? They can cut that out.
Yeah, we can definitely edit you down.
Yeah, they cut it out.
I keep copying that. Sorry, it's your thing. I love it. That's your podcast, right?
That's the name of our podcast. Yeah, but the Amazon is a place where you go and you buy. We used to buy books there, and I lost interest in that. But
in books.
In books, yeah. We do have books at our house, but they're all in Swedish, and I know that sounds silly, but they look good. Yeah.
It seems like you're intelligent, right?
So I interrupted you. So Amazon.com.
Yes, Amazon.com. It is really fantastic. So if you guys can, anytime you're going to Amazon to buy something, if you can use the link that is on the Podcast One page for Ask Women. So it's podcastone.com/ask-women. There's an Amazon little banner that's up. You click on that banner and then you order things after you get to Amazon, and that allows us to stay on the air so we can keep giving you free information.
And remember, we are doing the contest where you send in your receipt, and whoever has the highest purchase will get a free coaching session with Marni.
Yes.
And send that in to ask@askwomen.com.
It's worth
Ask Women Podcast.
Ask Women Podcast. I can't say that all. It's too much for me.
That's
I know.
That's really ingenious. They send in the receipt, and they get a coaching session.
Yeah.
About, what is it?
About how to understand women, or actually how to understand men.
But you could go to Amazon and buy a book to do that.
They could buy my book. Actually, go buy my book called Get Inside Her. It's on Amazon.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Thank you.
Inside her.
Get
Steve.
inside her.
I'll bet.
Yeah. That's really cute.
Well, Bobbie's in studio with us, and her husband's here with her as well, Steve. But we want to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot about...
Just sit down because the lady's talking.
I'm going to go over here.
You can sit next to the gentleman, yes. Very nice men that were helping me.
Yeah, they are nice.
Ernie and Bojangles, I forget.
Bojangles, yeah.
So when I don't remember a man's name, I'll just say Mr. Bojangles.
Oh, yeah. That is actually his name, I think.
He's your boyfriend, I know. He's a cute, wonderful
guy.
Busted!
What a
I'm
nice
blushing.
guy.
I'm blushing.
Oh, are you not supposed to let people know you have a boyfriend? Because the men will tune out, won't they?
They will, actually.
Because they were thinking and hoping you were single, and now I just blew it.
Yeah, that's why I don't have it on my Facebook profile.
Oh, God. And now they're gone. They've listened to the show.
Well, maybe you could give us
a lot
some...
of guys that get disappointed.
Steve, the lady's talking.
I'm sorry.
Well, maybe you could give us some pointers on how you guys... How long have you two been married?
We've been married 18 years.
18
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And can you give us any pointers on how that lasted so long? What was the key?
Well, I think the key is that Steve and I, we just get each other. We just get it. You know, we're with it. We're now, as I've often said. Steve loves the modern things. I do too. He has his dalliances.
By modern things, what do you mean?
Just the modern dance steps and the different songs.
Oh, you guys dance
that
together.
are heard.
You're dancers togethers?
We're dancer togethers?
Dancers together?
Is that the name of
Dancers together?
Yes.
It could be.
I'm sorry, I spit up, didn't I?
Okay.
Steve?
I
I
have
got
a
a
list.
paper towel for you.
Yeah, paper towels, some Bounty towels I'll probably need.
There you go.
What are you asking me,
But you
darling?
guys dance together.
We do. We dance. We don't do whatever the stupid dances that we just
Like the
the
grinding.
Cabbage Patch.
Right.
You know, Running Man.
Modern.
Right.
And Good Charlotte.
Like Paula Abdul style dancing.
Yeah, and I know a lot of it. Now the new music, the hop hip. We all listen to that. Don't worry
Hop
about
hip.
that.
Can't stop it.
Yeah. And you're laughing at me now, aren't you?
No.
Am I saying something bad?
No, I say everything's perfect. But what I'm hearing from you is
well,
that...
I'm embarrassed. I fell in some bean dip this weekend. I did, and it was
It
really
happens,
embarrassing.
Bobby.
Yeah, but you walk around with bean dip on your rear end.
Well, did you take care of it?
Well,
as
that's what
long
people
as
were
it's-
asking me. They're saying, "Oh, darling, you need to take care of that." I said, "What? It's bean dip." And they go, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Oh my God."
Was there any salsa in the bean dip? You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't. What am I looking at? Oh, look, I'm looking at my own butt.
That's
Can
true.
you imagine that? A
Check
woman
in with
going,
yourself.
"Oh, check it out."
That's
God.
true. That's true.
It's so rude to do. I'm sorry.
No,
I get emotional.
We had talked about.
Who are you?
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm Mo.
You're Mo.
I'm the voice of man.
Where's Larry?
Oh, I haven't heard that before.
Thank you.
We were talking about relationships and having your own life and your own identity.
I know. I've got to
outside
stick
your
to the topic, don't
relationship.
I? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, I'm not.
What I want to know is what do you do on your alone time without your husband?
Well, I have so much to do with the Homeowners Association. We have the new guard shack that's going in. We've got Steve's putting in some new flowers at the Cuntington Sisters. They've got a whole thing that's happening at their house. I don't know what's going on over there, but they've paid plenty for the house. So, and Steve spends a lot of time there, and I am suspecting that he is perhaps doing some things that he shouldn't, but he should too, because we need to service our homeowners. Now, that's what he's doing. You asked me, what am I doing?
So, are you suspecting?
Do you validate? I shouldn't have asked that.
You have great hair, Bobby. And beautiful eyes.
Thank you very. Aren't you sweet?
Well, I'm validating you.
And you know what? You're very cute. All three of you are darling.
Well, we couldn't do this podcast if we were ugly.
No one will listen.
Because when they put the picture out and there's three ugly girls, they go, "Oh hi, ask women," and all the women say, "I'm not going to ask them anything other than where do I get a paper bag?"
Exactly. It's like ask
That's
hags.
the question, I suppose.
Ask us where to get paper bags for our heads. I'm sorry. So, my alone time is spent, really my life is very empty. I'm sociopathic.
Well, at least you're aware. At least you're aware. That's like where it starts.
Not really, but that's what someone said to me. Some doctor that they had us go to one time when Steve threatened me with a knife, and we ran out into the street.
Well, actually, I thought I had heard that you were turned on actually after after Steve assaulted your son's school's basketball coach.
It's very exciting.
And so something like that is that it can turn you on.
It's every woman knows a man committing violence in her name is, oh God.
It's a way to keep things exciting.
I get that.
Do you? You know?
Yeah.
And are you married?
Not yet. Engaged.
But you imagine you have a husband who does that for you. Do you look forward to the day that he commits violence against someone?
I wouldn't say violence,
when
Bobby.
we get married and we go on vacation, and then he beats up a valet.
Well, maybe not beats up, but threatens a valet, certainly. That's definitely going to get me hot.
I think, it does, doesn't it? Why is that? I think I know. Steve, you know.
Yeah, think about the...
I'll do it. I think it's because men way back, okay, were ape-like or something, and you know how they used to beat women up with sticks and then drag them? I think that's why.
Did they?
So it's taking us back to older times. Is that what you're saying?
Way back when there were caves, when there was a cave.
Right. It was more.
Sorry, I'm very nervous.
It was more traditional back then.
It was very traditional family values.
We're losing that now.
We are losing it.
And
We're losing our cave.
You find that hot. I feel that men are not strong enough today, and we need
Not
more
today.
men that are cave-like.
Yes. Well, I'll give you an example. I was having dinner with radio host Phil Hendrie. He's kind of rough, Irish, sort of handsome in a rough, alcoholic Irish way. Anyway,
my type.
Tell me more.
My type.
He pulls my chair out for me, and the who's the female that takes you to the table but doesn't bring
the
you water?
hostess.
The hostess. She said, "Oh God, I thought she was going to have an orgasm, because no men nowadays pull out a chair." And I didn't even want to sit down. I thought it was a joke. Like, oh, here, Bobby, sit down. And he was going to pull it away, and I was going to fall and look like about 100 yards of jackball. And so, I think young men today, and I'm trying to teach our boys to be polite, but our boys are special, and they're not like any other boys. But if they were normal boys, we'd say be polite.
I heard that you let your son watch lesbian porn.
Yes.
Why is that? That doesn't seem so traditional.
It's not traditional.
Well, it's for him to learn.
No, we do believe in traditional family values, except for our sons, who we believe are... I hope you can understand this, Steve.
Yeah, if you just understand what Bobby's going to say.
We believe our sons are a new breed of man. They are the new man. We're very blessed. We feel that our sons represent a step in... I get emotional. The evolutionary... You're all laughing. Okay.
No,
we're listening. No, we're very serious about this.
What is that evolutionary step?
We believe that our sons are destined through their height, through their physical stature. We believe their heads are larger than average people. We've had them measured.
Now, how does that relate to them being able to watch lesbian porn?
That, you think, is a good question, but it's not. It follows. It follows. No, it follows. I do. I tear up when I think of Justin, because when the doctor said his head is a good half-inch larger than the average, I said, oh, God, thank God. What it is that the boys are looking at the new woman, what we hope women will become, sexually servicing each other, in no need whatsoever of men other than to be directed by them. That is the ideal.
Wow.
So to be
that is hot.
So being submissive.
Well, it's not supposed to be hot.
So being submissive as a woman is the best way to
except
entice
sexually,
your
except sexually, except sexually,
Okay.
except sexually, except sexually, except sexually.
Okay, Bobby.
All right, sorry. We will have sex with I won't. It won't be our generation. This is when the next new step, the evolutionary leap, takes place probably within the next 60 to 70 years. There will be a sign it will be probably an earthquake.
Bobby, you need a handkerchief?
Yes.
Here, I have one.
Thank you. And we will then become enamored of each other as women. Suddenly, all of a sudden, we'll look at each other on a street and go, oh, God, do I want you? The men will suddenly not care. Their penises will shrivel and fall off. And all we'll need them for is to tell us how to do stuff.
That's true, because the cable will still be around, and I'll need to know how to set that up.
Absolutely.
Well, Bobby, we actually have a caller on the line, and I was wondering if you would be interested in helping us answer our caller's question.
Oh, I'd love to. I
Okay.
do that a lot.
Wonderful.
I do it a lot on the Phil Hendrie show.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so who is on the line? Sorry that I kept you waiting for so long.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
Bobby.
sorry.
I gave Bobby too much water.
It was the water and the coffee.
Are they still there?
It was the combo.
Oh,
I see them. I answered
Hello,
the
it's
phone.
Bobby Dooley. Are you there? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Do you not hear anybody?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Who's this?
This is Jim.
Yay!
Hey, Jim.
It's Jim. Hello, Jim.
Finally, we hear your
How y'all
voice.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Hi, Jim.
Fantastic as always.
We have the amazing Bobby Douly on with us today to answer some questions, and you had written into us asking a question that I asked you to ask on air. So, ask your question.
All right. Well, basically, there's this girl that's coming into town this week for work, and I met her through a previous job and everything. And pretty much my question to Marni was, and my question to you all as well, what are some tips and strategies for wanting to basically leave her wanting more at the end of the night? Basically, I want her thinking, wow, I had a really good time with Jim, and I want to do this again soon. Basically, I want her excited at the prospect of seeing me again.
Yeah.
Like I said, just some tips and strategies to leave her wanting more.
It's a good idea.
Well, we'll let Bobby start.
Well, let's start
Yeah.
at penis size. How is it? I'm kidding, Jim. Did you hear?
It's going to shrivel off anyway in the future.
It's going to fall off in 50, 60 to 70 years with when the signs appear in the east. Again, when the signs appear in the east. Now, Jim, here, did you hear when I said about pulling out chairs, treating her like a lady?
We're not live
Sorry,
right
say
now.
that again?
Okay. What you need to do, I'm interrupting everyone. You guys
No,
have
Bobby,
no,
we want
great.
your-
You're here to give advice.
The first thing you need to do is act like a perfect gentleman. That is, open doors and pull out chairs. But don't let her don't go, gee, gosh, golly. Just be in control. Be in control. Sit down. Order for her. She may say, oh, what do you recommend? Well, I want you to have this and I want you to have that. Order for her. Don't let her order. Don't let her talk to the waiter at all. Don't let her talk to any service people. Because when you do, it turns her into a slut and a whore.
Okay.
Next thing you do, then the next thing you do is, I want to see you again, but I can't see you next week. Oh, really? What are you doing? Well, I'm busy. See?
But
See
she's
what I'm
coming in
saying?
from out of town, right, Jim?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is she coming in from out of town, or does she live near you?
She's coming in from out of town, 2 hours away.
Okay, hold on. Is this a work relationship,
I don't
or is it a
I don't
girl you
understand. Now
met
I'm lost.
through work?
Well, we worked with another company at one time, and we still kept in touch.
Okay, great. So obviously there's some interest there already. I think taking her out, being respectful, right, but doing something fun, planning something fun in your town just to show her a good time in the area, and trying to pay for everything if you can.
If you know what we mean by area. Show her a good time in the area.
I'm going to jump in here for a second, Jim, and give
You're
you.
gonna jumpy in?
I'm going
She
to
said I'm
jumpy
gonna
in.
jumpy
I'm
in.
jumping in.
Yeah, she said she's jumping in.
Go ahead.
So, Jim, what I think I actually wrote you back an email about this one, but what I would love for you to do is really focus on being fun and exciting and providing a situation where you catch her brain, where it's a little bit different. Like, being a gentleman is wonderful. I would love for you to obviously, open doors for her, be respectful of all the staff that's around you while you're out on your date. But even more so, I want you to keep it light and fun. So if she starts talking maybe about an ex-boyfriend, you say to her, if you're going to keep talking like this, I'm going to have to charge you $150 an hour, and switch it towards a conversation that is more exciting. The thing is, you want to create a light atmosphere, because most most people nowadays, especially work people, don't have light atmospheres to be a part of. So if you can give her that free space to have fun, laugh a little bit, enjoy each other, she's going to walk away remembering that feeling that you provided her.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
I would never think about that.
And take some of Marnie's advice of, you being with her and commenting on other people around you, things around you. Really make the whole night like you guys are on one team together.
Right.
It is you two versus the world, and have fun with that. And look, I don't like the whole concept of leave her wanting more, especially if she's coming out of town to come see you. If you dig this girl, take it to the next level. Try and take it to the next level at the end of the date, so then you don't waste your time anymore.
And if she says, "Well, why are you going?" You say, "Well, you're leaving town, so we got to get to it. Let's go." and that's going to really help.
Hop to it, lady.
Let's go. You're leaving. What time are you leaving? In fact, McDonald's drive-thrus are wonderful. Steve and I, not our first date, but our second date, he said, "Hurry up and eat," and I said, "Oh, that's right. Okay."
Before,
before. Yeah, you can say it.
Yeah, I get it. Before
intercourse. Yes.
A few little notes to add on here is I would really like you to not aim at pleasing her unless you're trying to please her in the bedroom. Absolutely, then please her. But don't try to create a date that's best for her. You want to show her a little bit of you and your world and how you have fun and bring her into it so you can position yourself as the leader. So if you're constantly trying to think, what would she like? What does she want? Let's talk about what she wants to talk about. That's going to become boring for her, and you're going to seem like you're saying out loud, like me, which is never a good thing.
And also be the fun guy, man. Have some drinks. I don't know if you are really regimented on how you live your life, but have a couple too many drinks if you want. Have an extra drink. Go dance. Do something fun, spontaneous. To just have a good time and don't hold back.
Right. You may wet yourself and don't act as if, oh God, if you see the stain, well, look at that, and keep dancing.
Spilled somewhere.
Yeah, keep dancing, and she'll go, there's urine on your pants, and you'll say, how about that, and just boo-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, whatever the music is that you like.
Well, I love what Bobbie's saying. I love that you're not sweating the small things. You're sort of just like, you're enjoying the moment. If there's urine on your pants, if you sat in some beans, whatever it is. You're enjoying it and having a good time. I know we threw a lot of information at you, Jim, but it's because we love you and we want to give you as much information as possible. You have been super supportive of our show and of me and the Wing Girl Method, and we totally appreciate it. So hopefully you got some good advice and you can use that on your date. But most importantly, honestly, just have fun. Have a really good time with her. And if you're focusing on you having a good time, both of you collectively will have a good time.
But for him, having a good time may be dragging her by the hair into it. No.
Could be, but show her your world. Do it however.
You have to do that. Yeah, you do, Jim. Just show her and she'll say, "Oh God, you're really weird," and you go, "You got that right." Jim, before you go, remember Harrison Ford in American Graffiti? When the girl goes, "I don't want to be in the car," he goes, "Why don't you shut up, baby? You haven't said anything all night." And you're going to be hanging, and he said to her, and I'll never forget these words because Steve said them to me, "You'll be hanging on for mercy when I get this sucker rolling." God bless.
Ooh.
God bless.
Good luck, Thanks, Jim.
Go out and make it a great day. Bob, or Dr. Glugender used to say that. Schlusinger.
Schlusinger. Oh, well, okay. So we were so happy to have Jim on. Okay, so we actually have some more questions. We have this segment that we called Analyze This, where people send us in emails, and we break down and analyze the situation. So do you want to stick around to help us with that?
Oh, I would love if you want me to. I don't know whether you want me to leave or
stay. No, we want you to stay.
Isn't working. It's not happening.
It's working.
There's a producer in the hall, and you're going,
get him out! Get her out of here! No,
well,
you're fantastic.
I'm thrilled. And Steve, how are you having?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, quit being what up, baby. Anyway,
Bobbie, I want you to stay right here because we have one of the questions that we have. I know I saw that you think being gay is cool.
It's really happening now, isn't it?
It's in.
It's
trending.
Totally.
It's trending. It is trending. I think I saw.
Hashtag.
But it was hashtag fag. But I shouldn't say that, should I? It was hashtag homosexuality.
It's hot.
And then a thumb up was next to it.
Well, one of our questions is I'm gonna paraphrase
If
it.
my voice ever goes
like that,
I have gas.
That's what happens to me.
Oh, Bobby, I have some gas X if you need it.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, don't
Not
worry.
Beano. I don't need that.
No.
Beano before, and there'll be no gas.
Oh, I hate that woman. She's so weird looking.
She is so weird looking, and she looks like gas.
She does. She looks like the kind of woman that would fart in an elevator.
I know.
She?
Yeah, it's bad.
Am I supposed to feel comforted by her?
No, absolutely
not. If she was in my home, I'd say, could you
get out?
Go ahead and leave the flower arrangement? And she'd say, no, I'm one of the party guests. And I go, oh, God.
Who put that list together?
Yes, who put that list together?
God.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, one of our questions comes from one of our listeners who believes that he received a note. It was left on his desk at work. It was, I guess, a secret admirer. And no women are acting differently toward him. The only one that's acting differently toward him is his male boss. He's not gay himself, and he believes his boss might be gay. What does he do? How does he handle that? Because he's not comfortable with that.
Well, when another man is attracted to a man, and there's two guys involved.
Well, obviously it'd be.
Steve, let me just do it.
Yeah, but you made a mistake.
I don't care. Is there somewhere he can go and play
Yeah,
with? Their toys
Steve,
or
I'll take
Lego
you
blocks?
I'll take him outside.
Okay, good.
I'll be right back.
Steve, the lady will take you down where the Legos are.
Oh, okay.
I think that when a man is approached by another man for reasons other than work or business or sports, and well, then that leaves a lot of other stuff, though, doesn't it? It could be like directions, you know. Like, I don't want you to beat up a man at a gas station, you know. If you're going to go and say, excuse me, and he beats you up, and all he wanted to know was, how do I get to Highway 4? Are you all right, darling?
I just ran to my
the
microphone.
poor young lady, she ran.
I closed my eyes in a moment of
It was almost
pure
like a
joy.
suicide attempt. She closed her eyes and just started ramming her face
You
in
were
the
saying,
microphone.
Bobby.
But I think that you should be very sweet and say thank. Well, did he come up to him and say, "Hey, I really want your link factory"? Or
He's made flirtatious remarks.
Well, look, gay guys.
I think you have to say,
if you work in
"I'm
a
not really interested in that sort of thing."
I don't even know if I'd say this is your boss, so you could get fired here. Look, first of all,
you can't. That's
first
against
of all,
the law.
men. Now you know how women feel for the last 50, 60 years in the workplace. So this is this is the shit they've had to go through. And now, as a man, what you just got to kind of man up and take it. Look, your boss is going to flirt with you. It depends on where you want to be in your career. If you want to kind of just joke about it, flirt back with your boss, and have fun with it, you'll probably move up the corporate ladder quite well. You know, at the end of the day, you decide whether you're going to hook up with a guy or not. You decide whether you're going to sleep with a guy or not. You decide all these things.
Yes.
So I know if your boss is flirting with you, he's probably not the one who wrote you the letter. He's just the one who's flirting with you because gay guys flirt with men all the time. So my suggestion is be comfortable in your sexuality. Don't be intimidated by a guy hitting on you. Treat him like a normal person. Find it flattering. And that's it. You know, I wouldn't
Treat him like a second-class citizen.
No, just treat him like your boss. Look, if you want to stay at your job and you want to move up, you're probably going to have to just go with it.
You can get fired if you're being harassing.
Right, that could. I mean, it could
It's against the law.
constitute sexual harassment.
Is it?
Yes.
But I don't think leaving a note is sexual harassment.
But if he says,
how many men file sexual harassment?
look at how you're filling those pants out today. That's
Right.
different from yesterday.
Right.
When I was also noticing.
Right. I have
Maybe
the
they were
sausage
And I
ready
can
for
see
you.
your ball sack.
But maybe they were smaller pants. You know.
What if he says that? Oh, are you wearing smaller pants? I'm not gay or anything, but I do notice your penis.
I mean, this is
I'm sorry.
But guys can really get a taste for what women are experiencing sometimes in the workplace when they don't know how to, because he doesn't want to lose his job. He wants to continue moving up the ladder, whether or not it's his boss's ladder or not. So it's hard. It's a hard subject to walk around, to tiptoe around. So Marni, what would you say?
Well,
How would he
honestly,
handle
if
this?
he's very uncomfortable with it and he doesn't know who did send the letter, I would maybe start talking to my boss like, oh yeah, somebody sent me this letter. I have no idea who it's from. And if the boss says, oh, that's from me, you can say, oh, I just want to be clear, that's not really what I'm into, but I think you're great. so that it's like you're still confronting it. You don't have to like dig it deep and pretend it never happened.
So the key is just to not act so afraid of a gay person.
Yeah,
treat him weirded out by it
treat
or
him
bothered.
Like a guy. Like confide in him like you would another guy. Like, hey, I got this secret admirer. No, I'm wondering who it is. You don't talk to him about, hey, I went out with this girl. You know, let him know how straight you are off the bat. And obviously he's flirting with you because he wants a more intimate relationship. And by that I don't mean sexual. Like guys that I work with or bosses I work with, like will confide in me personal information because they want to be buds. You know, they want that other person to be buds with.
Oh, butt
buddies?
Not butt buddies.
They want your butt.
That's buddies. Look, man, the corporate structure, you got to be friends with your boss.
Yeah, I would say don't bury it.
But you don't have to put his penis in your mouth.
No, you don't, Bobby. No, you don't.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
Play it cool.
Can I ask you a question? Do you smell anything?
Did you fart,
No, I think Steve's...
Did he get out of the Lego room?
Is that a new shirt?
It is a new shirt from yesterday.
Oh, God.
Oh, I do smell that.
Yeah, it's a little...
we actually have another caller.
Oh, another caller.
Yeah.
On that note...
I know, now that we're talking about your stinky husband.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Karen.
Oh, hi, Karen.
It's a girl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good.
What's your question, Karen?
We're doing really good.
I was actually the one that sent in the letter about the confident girls.
Oh, so what did you think?
Karen, the confident
she sounds so sweet. You're screaming confidence.
So Karen, before you explain, we have a guest in studio today. Her name's Bobby Dooley, and I just want to explain to her the situation so she's on board with what we're talking about. We had received a question about why don't men approach overconfident women? Oh, okay, so this is Karen on the line who sent in the question.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so let's hear your feedback.
Well, I so wish I could have been on the phone with you guys when you were recording this the first time, because I'm sitting here listening to it at work with a couple of my friends, and we're all just gasping. And I'm going, "Oh my God, I'm not a bitch!" And they're like,
"Oh my God, you're so sweet." We would have never said.
Calling her. We assumed she.
I know. Look at Mo's face. He's like, "Oh my God, you're amazing."
We were honestly assuming she was a bitch
because she said her girlfriends say that she screams confidence, and we're like, "Ooh, that's like a nice way of saying bitch."
Well, I know it does to me because a lot of girls think I'm a bitch, Karen, because I'm the president of our homeowners association, and I have certain legal rights to go into people's homes and to look into their... I look through people's bureaus to see whether the underwear... And I know everyone always goes, "Oh, what a bitch." And I'm like, guess what? Read it and weep. Hello, it says El Presidente. We put a trampoline in next door to us so I could get up high enough to see into a bedroom window. Why? All right, I know. But these are things. Confidence. Steve approached me. I was confident. My husband, Steve, approached me with this line. Does anyone want to buy a fake ID? He started doing Darvon, mainlining it, and then said, let's get on this car. Not in it, on it. Okay, Karen? Hello?
Hello.
Hi,
yes.
Karen.
Did you hear that?
Hi.
Did you hear what I said?
You should definitely check out Bobby's podcast. You're going to love it if you're loving this. I love this.
He said, let's get on the car.
I'm a little creeped out. Of course
darling,
you are, Karen.
Darling, I think if you're confident, men find that super sexy. I can tell you that right now. Men think confident women are sexy.
But she's saying she was having a hard time being approached.
Yeah,
because men are afraid.
Now,
but
Karen, I'd love to see a picture of you. I'd love for you to email a picture of us because you seem like a very sweet girl. I'm sure you put yourself together very well too, and that's probably why men
most is superb.
Well, actually, I want to hear more of an expansion on the question.
Yeah, but what was your question?
Karen, Haley wasn't here yesterday as well. So it was basically, I'm super confident, but that men are intimidated by it. Or why is it more difficult because I am super confident to find a man? Correct? That's along the lines of the question. So I want to hear more about what actually is going on.
Yeah, and who are these guys that are coming? What type of typical guy comes up to you to hit on you?
They're probably all wusses. They're probably not even. They're probably all
what's going on is a whole lot of nothing. That's why I asked the question.
Okay.
I've got a good piece of advice. I really do. You have to be confident, but every now and again, you pull it back and say, "Gee, what do you think about this? I'm not sure about that." You have to show that femininity.
Some vulnerability.
Yes, you have to show a little bit of that, and he'll go, "Oh, here's where I can jump in and sort of, you know, is there a guy that you're attracted to, but he's scared of you because he's afraid that you know, strap one on or whatever you do? I don't know.
No.
You know what I mean, darling? Mm-hmm.
No, there's not specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just with every man, have those, I call them islands of lo-fi spread. In other words, you're talking and you're being confident, but every now and again you sit down and just spread your legs and say, you know.
And that is the secret.
Yes.
But I want
not literally, but you know.
I want to hear a little bit more. So tell me what you're doing
So
to
you're blowing
men.
off. So you're blowing off what I just said.
No,
Okay,
I thought that was great. I thought that was great advice, Bobby.
Yeah, sure.
But I want to hear more from Karen about, you know, what you're doing to meet men. Where are you going to meet these men?
I'm sorry, I had to step away from some people at work.
Yeah, sure.
I think a lot of it is, you know, I go out to dinner with my friends, or I go hiking a lot. I love hiking. Like comedy clubs, just walking around the promenade in Santa Monica. Just, I mean, things that I think are fun and where I might bump into somebody. I mean, but the thing is, I'm not necessarily out looking for someone. I'm just open to the possibility of it.
I think
that when I do get approached, unfortunately, it's by guys that I work with and that I know and that I see all the time. And I'm like, you know, that's nice, but I'm not going to go out with someone that I work with. That's creepy.
Well, I think, I mean, personally, I think one of the issues, I didn't know you lived locally in LA.
LA, yeah.
But I think that could be an issue. I'm in the Santa Monica area as well. And,
Me too.
And I mean, I'm rarely ever approached, ever. So I think maybe putting yourself in an area of town, you know, when you do want to go out and meet people, go to a place where you think, like you said, you go to comedy clubs. That's a great place to talk to people. People there are they're easygoing and they're looking to laugh and socialize. So try to find places where people are not so judgmental, like Santa Monica.
Let me.
No. I'm gonna answer this one because I really want to give Karen a good answer for this. Okay, so here's what I hear is going on, and I'm gonna take 2 steps back for a second because I work with thousands of men all over the world, and one of the exercises that they do is they go up and they approach random women on the streets in malls, and it's nice and wonderful. But I always say, like, stop focusing your energy on going and interacting with a woman while she's trying to buy like a pair of shorts. I've never heard a story where a woman goes, "Oh, I was walking down the street and some guy came up to me and asked me like what time it was."
That's
and
how
then
I
now,
thought I'd get discovered
and now
as an actress.
we're together. Exactly. It doesn't happen. What happens is when you really do start to focus your energy on meeting somebody by joining an online dating service. We were talking about this the other day, going on Tinder.
I was going to say that. Are you on Tinder? Because you should be on Tinder.
Absolutely. Going to singles mixers, even joining other groups like a singles running group or whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Because you said you like hiking. If you can take 1 or 2 days a week where it is your focus, where it's not like I have to meet somebody or I'm going to die, but it's I'm going to focus my time and focus 3 hours of my week on interacting with other single people who I may find potential in. Because you say, I'm just going to take like everything we said yesterday, you sound so sweet. I cannot believe we said any of that. You do.
If she's as confident and this sweet, that's just
you're like, but I can understand why guys wouldn't approach you. I can understand why guys wouldn't approach you. I did some work like a few years ago with like a female celebrity who's super hot, and I'm not going to say who it is, but she actually said
Kelly, what's her name?
Keep guessing.
Okay.
But I worked with her, and she said whenever she wanted to be alone, she would actually go out in public because people wouldn't talk to her and look at her. Obviously, she's a celebrity, so they try and keep their distance. But even more so when she would be amongst her own people. She said guys would never hit on her because they assumed that she was already taken. She was, better than them, higher value, whatever it is. If you walk around with a smile, it sounds like you do, and you're super confident, and it sounds like you're very pretty. I'm just going by what my ears hear. But like that mixture together isn't exactly, an open invitation for guys to approach you randomly.
Are you on a dating website?
There's a lot of creeps. And there's a lot of creeps.
Let me ask you, why aren't you on a dating website?
She met a guy that way, and she married him.
I have 2 reasons. The first one is the whole safety reason of it. I have a friend that's an LAPD detective, and she discouraged me from that. She said, "You just stay away from it because she's seen too many bad things happen." And the only thing that I can remember about dating websites is the scary part of it.
Investigation Discovery does shows about it. It's called Fatal Encounters. And the girls will be online and they'll go, "Oh, I think I'll go out with him." And the next thing you know, they're in a bag on the Angeles Crest Highway.
And it's not a Nordstrom bag, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're in 4 different bags. And they go, "Oh, wow, what happened?" She went online on lovewillkeepus together.com or something. Love will separate you from your head. So I think
they have a dating website called OurTime.com, but they should, if anyone gets killed, they should just call it Not Your Time.
Not Your Time. Yeah, your time's
or
up.
Your Time. Yeah, it is your time.
Tick, tick, tick.
Well, like Marni was saying, find someone, do get involved in things that are your common interests. But like Bobbie's married to a construction worker.
Yeah, well,
and
we met in school.
Oh, okay.
It was a bonfire on the beach, and Steve just swept me off my feet and right into the surf.
Did you find him? Because you're part of the Homeowners Association. He's working in construction. Is there
no,
any?
he's a landscape. He's a wildly successful architect.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
God.
Well,
Get it right,
you had
Kristen.
to go in the other room, so I couldn't ask him. He's in the other room.
Well, listen,
how much time's left in this?
Karen, email us either your Facebook profile. I know a ton of great guys who are single in LA who are looking for.
I was just
girls.
thinking that too. I'm like, I have 4 guys. That'd be wonderful.
Of the show. We love you.
Yeah, Karen, I'm local.
We will be your.
These guys are in entertainment. They know entertainers.
Your filtered dating service.
Karen, don't go out with anyone Mo knows.
Oh, Mo.
Actually, I'm going to give one more piece of advice. I don't know if your friends are single as well, but if they're not, like, I would literally just reach out to your friends and say, give me 2 people that you want to hook me up with, and just start getting in the habit of dating.
Yeah, mutual friends is always a good way to go. I've always found the best people come from mutual friends. They're vetted for it. You're not going to end up in a bag.
And let me ask you,
exactly.
are your groups of friends just your work friends?
No, they are work friends, and then friends that I've previously worked with, and then I have friends that are involved with the same volunteer organization.
Do you like guys to dance?
She volunteers. I feel like a horrible person now. God.
We have our summer-tacular, and we have the tiki dance, and all the guys get into bath. I call them bath towels, but they're the what is it, Steve?
Grass skirts.
It's a skirt that a guy on an island wears.
Exactly, and they twirl the torches, and they're all not Polynesian, they're regular, and some of them set themselves on fire. And they're so much fun. You would have such a ball seeing these guys going around and acting like asses.
And that's the thing, they're having fun. So it's like the vibe or the energy you're putting out, Karen. I know for me, I'm never approached, and I think I have a vibe that kind of says, don't talk to me, even though I'm nice and whatnot. It's your body language. It's the where you're looking. You could be looking at the ground or things like that are, once people meet me, they said, I thought you were, you seem very unapproachable.
A C word.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know.
Cunt.
That's
basically.
You didn't know what that was?
Yeah, she's innocent.
So I like all these
so
letters.
Innocent.
So hopefully that gave you some advice that you can start using. Because actually, at the beginning half of our show, we were talking about people they know things require work, but they don't actually know the steps for work. So hopefully we gave you some steps. And here's a good step for you to start working with: is once a week dedicate it to going out and meeting other people, but be really focused on it. So it's not like just going out to a bar and sitting there hoping somebody comes along. It is going to a singles event, a singles mixer, or if you are going to a bar, then you start approaching people that you're interested in.
Are you making popcorn or something? I can hear she's like, that's great. And she's fixing dinner.
Karen, we have your email, so we'll check in on you in a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. We'd love to follow it, and we can, we're in this together, Karen.
And go on to meetup.com because that's actually a great site too to find out things that are going on in your area.
Yeah, I did. I'm on there.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool.
There's actually a boot camp in Santa Monica through Meetup, by the way, that I did. That was pretty sweet.
A boot camp?
Yeah.
For sex?
That's awesome.
Thanks, Karen.
All right, thanks, Karen.
A sex camp. Oh, that's great. That's like that, what was it?
Sounds like
Sex Farm by
What kind of camps do you go to with the tikis and the... Are you
this is our
Summertacular.
Summertacular. No, it's our Summertacular. We have 4 of them a year, the Summertacular, the Falltacular, the Wintertacular, and the Springtacular. And we have fashion shows, tiki dances, margarita contests.
Always tiki dances.
Does your neighbor go to that, the one that you're kind of weary of?
Oh, they've moved away. Yeah, we harassed them out. They're gone now.
Okay.
Janice Grayley. We have the people that we are comfortable with, and then we have the others, and they go, but I don't talk to a lot of them. I mimeograph things, and I don't even email them.
They're not worth it. What's that?
Yeah, no, it's you print stuff and shove it under their door. There's no way are they on my email tree. Yeah.
No. Let me ask you, because
you've got to really work your way up to my texts.
I feel like these older colonies of people, especially homeowners and stuff like that, you guys go out, you drink, you party together, and then it gets kind of sexual toward the end of it.
Well,
and you've been with your partner for a long time. Is there a little swapping?
Swapping. You know, the way you said that, Mo, makes me want to have sex with you, and I'm very uncomfortable.
It's those eyes.
Oh, God. That's just what happened to me right then. Woo!
Hot flashes?
Do we swap? Let me say this. Steve does what he does. I do what I do. You know, you're going to do what you're going to do.
So there is swapping. That's how I'm going to interpret that.
No, I didn't say that, did I?
Well, how's your sex life?
You're going to do what you're going to do.
How's your sex life?
How do you keep a sex life spicy?
Our sex life is out of this world.
Does it have anything to do with you having dinner ready, a hot dinner ready for him every night?
No, because I'll tell you something. Steve is the greatest lover that a woman would ever want. We have 3 wonderful sons. He cannot, Steve, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Steve is not functional if he can smell barbecued pork, if we're out of L.A. County, or, excuse me, do you have any of the allergy pills?
Yeah.
Or if he can hear air conditioning.
Other than that,
he's fantastic. And he seems to know. His penis knows if we're in or out of L.A. County. I'll give an example. I said, all right, Steve, we're leaving L.A. County now. Well, no, we hadn't. We were still in L.A. County. We were in wherever it was, Laverne or something.
He was rock hard still.
He was hard, and we were out, and I said that we weren't, what? What did you say? And then I'll say what I was going to say.
I said he was rock hard still.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember anything like that, no. Rock hard? No. But I can tell you that, other than that, he's a wonderful lover. Isn't that right, Steve?
Yeah, okay.
Well, don't be all... What a child.
Is he losing it at all? I mean, I'm not sure how old he is, but is that an issue at all?
Steve's 40. How old are you, dear?
I'm 41, 39.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So he's still got it.
Sure. Yeah, sure. He's going to be 40. Hello. Doesn't it just go... Yeah.
His thing goes over the hill. Yeah.
But, and now they have all of the Viagras and all of the ridiculousness, but ridiculousness.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, of course.
If you'd like to re-dick, here's some Viagra. But I think that, no, if other than that, and the other thing is Steve loves his Corvettes, and I love my body and parading it around in my high heels. And so we just
keeps it.
Yeah, and we're able to control everyone. We have this fiefdom, the Western States, so we control everyone's lives because that's what sociopathic.
And that's a turn on, right? Exactly, that's a turn on.
I can't. I'm empty inside unless I have people that I can mess with.
Right, and that they're under your control.
Yes,
that's
exactly,
hot.
and that I can make them jump and. You know, like we had some neighbors go on vacation, and we entered their home without permission and painted the inside.
What'd you guys paint?
Well, the walls.
Oh, right.
What color did you
paint?
Not
each other.
I like the avocado, don't you?
I do.
Yes.
I would be happy if you broke into my house and did that color.
I was going to think that, too. I was like, come
really?
paint my house. For sure. Break in anytime you want.
They had the saffron in the kitchen. I thought, it's cheery. Let's just mess that up.
Right.
And we went ahead and did... No, I didn't say that. But they had the saffron in the kitchen. They had the avocado, and then they had the turtle shell, or the tortoise shell.
So all in the same family.
What's that?
Same family of color. Like similar.
I don't know. Is it? It's just a lot of colors. And then steakhouse, I call it steakhouse red. And we put that in one of the children's bedrooms just to make
nice and bloody.
To make it ghoulish and goth, yes.
Right.
And so they came back and they went, oh my God. They were thrilled. I said, I told you, didn't I? And they said, thank you. We shook hands, and it was all forgotten.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It's really great.
Well, you have been so helpful today. All of our guests are, they're going to be they're bigger women now that they've listened to you. So thank you so much for coming on.
I hope so. I really do, because being a woman, this is the greatest time in history to be a woman. there was one better time, and that was when women ran countries and beheaded people, but you don't do that anymore. Right. Catherine the Great,
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, now it's better. It's almost as good as that.
Yeah. Bring that back.
Yeah.
We'll get a new episode every Thursday. Thank you so much, Bobbie, for being in the studio.
Thank
Women
you,
everywhere are better because of you.
Don't forget my podcast.
Right. Right.
The Bobby Dooley podcast.
Yes, and what's your Twitter for Bobbie's podcast?
Bobby Douly, twitter.com/Bobby Dooley.
Okay, awesome. So thank you again so much. Follow us on Twitter as well.
I love this song.
It's great. It's a great dance song.
Isn't it?
My boyfriend actually made the song. He made the song.
All right, well, that is the end of our episode. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And
I like the podcast.
Come back with us next week.
All the women.